Today we're going to be talking about dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. We're going to go through a PowerPoint in this lesson, and I want to give credit real quick to Caitlin Stetson at A Flair for 5th grade. She made the base of these PowerPoints. If you are interested in using them, I will put the link in the description below. She did give editing rights, so I did make some edits to the PowerPoint. If you download hers, they will not look exactly like this one. But you are welcome to make your own edits to it to make it fit for your class. So to get started, we're going to do a little bit of a K-Prep review. Our question is, Owen will use 5 cups of blueberries to make 3 batches of muffins. Decide whether each expression shows the number of cups of blueberries in one batch. So to start solving this problem, the first thing we have to decide is what operation are we going to use? Is this going to be addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? So when I go through and read my problem and think about it, I know that with addition, I'm typically adding something in, I'm making it bigger, I'm taking 2 or more things and putting them together. So when I read this, if I have 5 cups of blueberries and I'm going to make 3 batches out of them, that doesn't lead me to believe that this would be an addition problem. So I'm going to rule that one out. Subtraction, similarly, I typically have 2 things and I'm getting rid of something, I'm taking something out. In this case, I'm not getting rid of my blueberries, I'm just splitting them up between 3 batches of muffins. So I know this isn't a subtraction problem. So that leaves me with multiplication and division, which can be a little tricky when we're talking about fractions. In this case, though, I have whole numbers. So when I think I have 5 cups of blueberries to make 3 batches of muffins, and I want to know how many blueberries are in one batch, I know that that means I'm going to have to divide to figure out how much is in that one batch. So I know that this is going to be a division problem. My next step is going to be to decide what type of division problem this is. So we can go through and think through our problem and decide, is this telling me that I have 5 cups of blueberries divided between 3 batches of muffins? Or do I have 3 batches of muffins divided between 5 cups of blueberries? I know that last one seems a little bit silly. I'm probably not going to take my 3 batches of muffins and split them up between my 5 cups of blueberries. So I know that it's the first one, that I'm going to take my 5 cups, divide between my 3 batches. So my 5 will be my dividend and my 3 will be my divisor. So when I look over at my options, I see at the very bottom here that 5 divided by 3 is one of my options. So I automatically know, yes, that is an expression that will show the number of cups of blueberries in one batch. If I look up a little bit, I see the problem 3 divided by 5. It looks similar, but my dividend and divisor are switched. And I know that if I switch my dividend and divisor, I'm going to get a different answer. So no, this one would not be an expression that would work for this problem. We've talked about that if I take a division problem, such as 5 divided by 3, I can stick my dividend over my divisor and make a fraction to give me my answer. So if I stick my dividend over my divisor, I know that would be 5 over 3. So when I look at my options, I see that up here. So I know that yes, that would be an expression that would work. Similarly to the last thing that we talked about, below 5 over 3, I see 3 over 5. In that case, again, I've switched my dividend and divisor, so I know that no, that will not work. That will not give me the same answer. So I'm left with 1 2/3 and 5 times 1/3. We already talked about that 5/3 is an expression that will work. So 5/3 is an improper fraction. If I make that into a mixed number, I know that it takes 3/3 to make one whole, so 3/3 with 2/3 left over would give me 5/3, so yes, this expression would work. Finally, I'm left with 5 times 1/3. I know that multiplying by a fraction is the same as dividing by the whole number reciprocal. We've talked about that, so yes, 5 times 1/3 would also give me the correct answer. Our objective today is going to be to divide a whole number by a unit fraction. And our essential question is, how can I divide a whole number by a unit fraction? So those are the things that we're going to focus on today and the things that we're going to answer by the time that we finish. So let's start with our concept development. Jenny buys 2 pounds of pecans. If Jenny puts 2 pounds in each bag, how many bags can she make? So I know that this is a division problem, and it's a fairly simple division problem, a division problem that we've worked on since 3rd grade. Very simple. If I have 2 pounds of pecans and I put 2 pounds in each bag, then I would be able to make 1 bag. 2 pounds into each bag would be 1 pound. I'm sorry, 1 bag. If Jenny puts 1 pound in each bag, how many bags can she make? So if I have 2 pounds and I put 1 pound in each bag, again, that's a very simple division problem. I can just do 2 divided by 1, which would give me my 2 bags. If Jenny puts half a pound in each bag, how many bags can she make? Now this is where it starts to get a little bit more tricky. It's not as simple as just 2 divided by 2 and 2 divided by 1. Now I have to think, what is 2 divided into 1/2? Well, if I know that there are 2 halves in one whole, then that would mean that there would have to be 4 halves in 2 wholes. So 2 divided by 1/2 would give me 4 bags. If Jenny puts 1/3 pound in each bag, how many bags can she make? So again, this one's a little more tricky. If I have my 2 pounds of pecans and I divide them into groups of 1/3, if I know that there are 3/3 in 1 pound, then I know that there must be 6/3 in 2 pounds. So then 2 divided by 1/3 would give me 6. So Jenny can make 6 bags. Tian wants to cut 1/4 foot lengths from a board that is 5 feet long. How many boards can he cut? So, when we're working with word problems, we know that it's important to always first read the problem twice and annotate the problem as we read. So we've read it once. Let's read it again and annotate it as we go. So Tian wants to cut 1/4 foot lengths. I know that 1/4 is probably going to be important. From a board that is 5 feet long. It's probably going to be important for me to know that my board was 5 feet long. And then my question is, how many boards can he cut? All right, let's draw a picture of that. If I have a board that is 5 feet long, and I cut each of those feet into 1/4 sections, my question is now, how many of those boards, smaller boards, do I have? So if I write out my problem, 5 divided by 1/4 equals what? And I think, how many fourths are in 5? Well, I know there are 4 fourths in 1 whole. So then that must mean there are 20 fourths in 5 wholes. So total, Tian can cut 20 boards. On this one, we're going to draw some tape diagrams to work through and try to solve these problems. So it gives us an example of 2 divided by 1/3. So you can see they took the 2 and they divided each section into thirds. They said that there are 3/3 in 1 whole, so that must mean that there are 6/3 in 2 wholes. Then on the other side, it asks a similar question, but it flips it around. If 2 is 1/3, what is the whole? So if I have a whole and I split it into thirds, and I know that 2 is one of those thirds, then I would have to figure out what my whole is. So if 1/3 is 2, and the next third is 2, and the next third is 2, then total, my whole would have to be 6. So we're going to work through those example problems. So 4 divided by 1/2, if I have 4, and I split each section into a half, I'm going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I think through that, I know that there are 2 halves in 1 whole, so that must mean that there are 8 halves in 4 wholes. If I work the opposite way, if 4 is 1/2, what is the whole? If I split it in half and I know that this side is 4, then that must mean that this other side is 4. So 4 plus 4 would give me a total of 8. All right, I want you to take a quick second to check yourself for understanding. A 1 would be I'm a novice. I don't get it. I have no idea what you're talking about. I really just don't understand. A 2 would be I'm an apprentice. I can do it, but I'm going to need a little bit of help. A 3 would be I'm a practitioner. I get it, but I might make a few mistakes here and there. And a 4 would be I'm an expert. I've got it. I could teach it to my neighbors. We're ready to go. So I want you to do a quick assessment of yourself. If you're a 3 or 4, you can go ahead and work ahead of me and get the problems done on your own. If you're a 1 or 2, hang back with me and work through the problems as I go through them until you feel like you're a 3 or 4, and then you're ready to move on your own. So our first problem is 5 divided by 1/3, for those of you that are hanging around with me. We're going to draw a model. So here's my 5. If I split each section into 1/3, then I see that I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 sections. I know that there are 3/3 in one hole, so that must mean there are 15 thirds in 5 holes. My next question is, if 5 is 1/3, what is the hole? So if I know that this 1/3 section here is 5, and I'm trying to figure out the hole, if 1/3 is 5, then the other sections must also be 5 for a total hole of 15. All right. If I have 5 divided by 1/2, we're going to go through these without drawing models. So we're going to think, if there are 2 halves in one hole, how many halves would be in 5 holes? 10. There would be 10 halves in 5 holes. If there are 2 halves in one hole, how many halves would be in 3 holes? 6. If there are 5/5 in one hole, how many fifths would be in 4 holes? 20. If I'm doing 1 divided by 1/6, then all I have to think is how many sixths are in one hole, which would be 6. That one's a fairly simple one for us. If there are 8/8 in one hole, how many 8ths would be in 2 holes? 16. If there are 6/6 in one hole, how many sixths would be in 7 holes? 42. If there are 3/3 in one hole, how many thirds would be in 8 holes? 24. And finally, if there are 4/4 in one hole, how many fourths would be in 9 holes? 36. All right, our last 2 questions. How many hamburgers can be made with 6 pounds of hamburger meat? So if I go up and look at my table up here, I see that it takes 1/3 of a pound to make 1 hamburger. So if I take 6 pounds of hamburger and split them up into 1/3 size servings, I can think, okay, how many thirds are in one hole? There are 3. So then how many thirds are in 6 holes? There would be 18. When we have word problems, we like to write our answers in complete sentences. So my answer would be, you can make 18 hamburgers with 6 pounds of hamburger meat. How many pickle servings can be made from a jar of 15 pickles? So if I look at my chart, I see that a serving size is 1/4 of a pickle. So if I take my 15 pickles and divide them into 1/4 servings, and I think how many fourths are in one hole? I know there are 4/4 in one hole. So how many fourths are in 15 holes? That would be 60. Again, we want to write our answer in a complete sentence. So you can make 60 pickle servings with a jar of 15 pickles. All right, to end today, this is an exit ticket for you to do. It says to draw a tape diagram and number line. If you don't need to draw those anymore and you can do them just by thinking about how many halves or how many fourths are in a hole, then go ahead and just answer that way. If you get to the word problem at the bottom, please make sure that you write your answer in a complete sentence. Great job today, guys. You did really awesome.